I'm going to start with doing number 3 because that's kind of a harder one. And if you can do this one, then you can do the other one. So I first look at the two things they're talking about, and they're talking about scientific calculators and graphing calculators. So I'm going to highlight those two things. Okay. And I'm going to write them on the line here. So this X is going to be scientific calculators, and Y is going to be graphing calculators. So when they talk about those, we know what variable to use. The objective function is where they talk about a profit, okay? And so that happens right down here, okay? And we're going to use the right variable. So each scientific calculator is sold for a $2 loss. So that is going to be a negative 2x. It's a scientific calculator, so it's x. But the graphing calculator is a $5 profit. Usually you get both profits, but this one has a negative in there. So plus 5y. Okay, our constraints are what they talk about in the paragraph, but it's always going to be that we're talking about positive numbers. So I always add in the x is greater than or equal to 0 and the y is greater than or equal to 0. In this case, they get overridden because we talk about x and y later as well, but like we always want to have those in there anyways. But if we start to look, we have a demand of at least 100 scientific. So that means at least 100, that means x, because we're talking about scientific, so x is greater than or equal to 100, because at least 100 means 100 or more. And then we also want at least 80 graphing calculators. So that, again, I'm going to put that right here. That's talking about y. Y is greater than or equal to 80. Okay, because of limitations on production capacity, no more than 200. So let's outline this here. No more than 200 scientific. So that's going to be, I can just add it to any other line. It doesn't matter where we put these. But scientific, no more than, so that's got to be x is less than or equal to 200. And no more than 170 graphing. So that's going to be, actually let me highlight over here so you can kind of see where I got these from. That's going to be y is less than or equal to 170. And then anytime they say total, so to satisfy a shipping contract of a total of at least 200 calculators, that means any kind of calculators. So at least 200 means any kind of calculators together have to be greater than or equal to 200 because it says at least, so 200 or more. And then we're going to graph all 5 of these. You can graph the zeros, but you don't need to because I have the other red, purple, blue, and orange. You don't need to. If we didn't have anything with just x or y, you would have to graph the zeros. Okay, so I've actually already graphed this, so you don't have to watch me do it. I put them in all as equal signs first. And then I put them in as the inequalities, but each separate one after the first one is with its own squiggle bracket. So we can see this picture right here. It's kind of almost a square, but the bottom got cut off. So now we're going to take all the ordered pairs. So there's an ordered pair. That's 100, 100. Right here is an ordered pair. That's 120, 80. Right here, that's 280, 200, 170, and 100, 170. Okay, once you do that, you're going to take the objective function, so negative 2x plus 5y. And I'm going to write it without the x and y. And I'm going to plug in each ordered pair. So let me just kind of duplicate this right here. We don't always get 5 ordered pairs. Sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 4. Okay, so now I'm going to plug in each ordered pair, right? And we'll do the calculations and we'll see which one is the maximum profit. This is the hardest one. The one on the test is actually not this hard. So let me go to a new blank graph. We're going to have -2 times 100 plus 5 times 100. And that's $300 profit if they sold those kind of calculators. They sold 100 graphing and 100 scientific. Okay, now we're going to change it. This is going to be 120, and this is going to be 80. So we make a profit of 160. What if I have 280? I'd make a 0 profit. I would break even. What about 200 and 170? That would be $450 profit. And 100 and 170 would be $650 profit. So clearly the winner is the 650. So down here you're going to write 100, is it scientific is first? Yes, scientific. And 170 graphing calculators for a max profit of $650. That is the best scenario you can have if you have to follow all those restrictions. Okay. Number two, the one before this, I will highlight it. I won't waste the time to do it because it's a little bit easier, but we have photographs and prints. So I'm going to highlight and kind of show you where they go to save time so you're not watching it all. And if you need any of these answer keys, let me know. Okay. So now all the same units have to go together. So if you notice, well, let's do the profit first, actually. It makes a $30 profit on the photographs and $50 on the print. So that is going to go right here. Okay, now we're going to take money and money and money. All of those go together for one inequality. And then you're going to take hours and hours and hours. And all of those go on another inequality. So you're only going to have 4 inequalities. Notice I'm still keeping my x is greater than or equal to 0 and my y is greater than or equal to 0. Okay? So I think this should help you write them. You'll graph them, of course, and identify the corner points. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye-bye.